Joining me now with reaction, Dana Loesch, host of Dana on the Blaze TV, and Nomiki Konst, executive director of the Accountability Project. Great to see you both. So
thanks,
this is not clear, Dana, right? They're saying maybe he was mentally disturbed. That's the most likely explanation according to the investigators. But how do they get there if people heard him yelling Allahu Akbar and he was on the FBI's radar?
Yeah, that doesn't quite make sense, Megan, and I agree. I think that we're still learning some things here, but at the same time, there are too many coincidences that make me quite uneasy. The fact that you had multiple witnesses that said he was screaming Allahu Akbar as he was slicing and dicing these poor victims here. The fact that he had traveled recently to Turkey hoping to gain entry to Syria was unsuccessful, and as you said, the FBI had them on some sort of list, had been watching him for at least a few months. All of this stuff, it adds up. There are too many coincidences here. And when you look back at some of these other not so lone wolf, it goes back to the question, how many lone wolves make a pack? When you look at some of these other previous attacks, there have been these kind of red flags that have been in these attackers' past, whether they've been traveling, whether what their browser history was like, some of their associations, and I'm sure those are all things that the FBI in their investigation they're going to come out with.
I mean, certainly if he attempted to travel to Syria, the FBI is going to be interested in that, Nomiki. But if he's, what he apparently said was he was hearing voices telling him to attack people, which could take this out of terror into a straight mental health situation. I suppose that's why they're not labeling it anything right now.
Right, and the Department of Justice actually did a study and released a report saying that the majority of these lone wolf terror acts are actually acts that are related to mental illness. And so I think...
So it's both. It could be both.
And I think that's the problem with ISIS, is unlike Al-Qaeda or some of these traditional terrorist organizations that have these large structures, is that ISIS feeds off of the weak. It feeds off of the young people who are naive, don't understand the implications of going to Syria, and a lot of Westerners who have been marginalized, and the mentally ill, unfortunately. And they have access to information, they have access to their propaganda online. And while this guy may have been not been trained by ISIS, did not go into Syria, he could use it as a
Dana,
tool.
a lot of people are going to be wondering why, if he was on the FBI's radar, how he was able to commit an attempted stabbing.
Well, I agree with that too, Megan. And I think you do have to be mentally ill to be a part of ISIS or to be an Islamist, an Islamic terrorist. I do, but at the same time, it's going to be easier to try to get off on a crazy charge than a terror charge.
Right. So might as well lay the foundation early about the voices, which may be real, maybe not. We'll be right back. Thank you, ladies.